My name's Diane, and in February 2007 I went with my sister Judy on holiday to the Gambia.
We chose Gambia because it was the same time zone that we were in, a 6-hour flight, but we didn't have jet lag to worry about.
We took a couple of trips, organised trips, one of which was the Roots tour.
And whilst we were going there, we went by 2 schools and all the children were outside. This was a tourist trip and all the children were outside asking for things like books and pencils and pens.
And all the tourists donated money to these schools because they were so poor. And we thought, well, if these schools are so poor on a tourist route, there must be other schools even worse off that the tourists never see.
Following that, we took a tour guide around the market to Banjul and we asked about the schooling, and that's how it started.
And just by chance, our tour guide was a man called Member. And we discussed with him what we had seen and asked him lots of questions.
And he quite clearly had helped other people build schools or be part of an education programme, but they're very unselfish people. And he said that they didn't have a school in their village and he couldn't do it because it was too self-centred.
We didn't actually see the village on the February trip, but I went on my own in June the same year, 2007, because Judy couldn't get off work. And I just went for a week on my own, and Member had arranged a meeting with the village elders, which was quite something. And I visited the actual school that the children had at that time. And this was a corrugated sheet lean-to, and that's all. It just, we wouldn't even have put a car in it. It was dreadful and so hot. By 11 o'clock in the morning, the children couldn't stay in there. It was like an oven. So at that time, they moved out under a mango tree and had their lessons there. And all these lovely little children were crammed in this little room. Eager to learn and so welcoming and loving. And so that was my first experience of life as it is in an African village.
We decided that we would set up a charity, and there are lots of charities doing tremendous work in the Gambia, big charities doing a lot of good, but we decided that we wanted something small just for this one school, and our object was to build a school, get it running, provide it free for all the children in the village. And so we wanted to keep it quite small. And then we found, when we started fundraising, that people who were not prepared to give to the big charities because they didn't know how much went in administration, they would give to ours because they knew that every penny we raised would go to the school, would go towards the building.
And as soon as we raised money and sent it, the building started.
Fortunately, I work in a number of schools, and so I got the schools behind the project for a start and the children. And so there have been some big events and some smaller events around the schools and individuals.
We went into it very naively, but I don't think that's a bad thing. If we had known all the problems that we were going to come across, maybe we'd have thought twice and maybe it wouldn't have happened. But we've overcome the problems and still are doing so as we go.
And we have had children from our schools giving their 50p pocket money and things like that. It's just been tremendous.
So it's a learning experience for everybody, but very, very worthwhile.
So the actual building didn't start until October in 2007. And Member decided that the breeze blocks that he could buy to do the building were not good enough quality, so he hired a mould and made all the breeze blocks himself. Thousands of breeze blocks, and he made them. The actual building was finished in June this year, and the opening was on the 28th, and Diane and I went to it.
Member had made all the plans, and we had taken with us lots of balloons in the Gambia flag colours and a banner with the name of the school on.
We had lots of celebrations there. All the villagers came.
Drummers drumming, women dancing. They tried to get us dancing, but I'm afraid we chickened out. Everybody very excited.
That took place on a Saturday, and on the Monday the children were in the school.
The school is fantastic now. They've got these 3 big classrooms, an office for the head teacher and a storeroom. It's cool, it's painted white, it's cool. There are things that still need to be done, but it's usable, the children are in it, and it's 1,000 times better than what they had a year ago.
That's not the end of the story, because obviously we've got to do more fundraising. We need to put a toilet block in, we want to put water, we want to get a generator.
At the moment, a man in a compound close by is allowing the children to use his toilet facilities, but the school needs toilet facilities of its own.
We need to get water and equip it. We need more furniture.
We want to build a little house for the teacher and his family on site for security reasons as well as convenience.
And we need to have enough money to pay the salaries for the teachers.
Because at the moment, the parents have to contribute something for their children to go to school, which actually pays a teacher's wages. So there are families who can't afford to send their children to school at all.
We want to make sure that the primary education for the children is free,
so that all the children can go. And of course the school is going to grow in size as a result.
We're proud of what we've achieved, but that's with the help of everybody else who's raised the funds, of course. But we've got to continue. Every donation still counts. Every penny counts.